Alright, Bagpiper, let's do a video. I really liked your video about IQ, phones, and virtual girlfriends. You notice there's not virtual boyfriends. It's weird that a man would be focused on a virtual girlfriend, because a virtual girlfriend, what can a virtual girlfriend give you? You know, like someone to talk to or someone to react to what you're doing, only. So like, if relationships is about exchange, and men seem attracted to actual exchange of interaction, or interaction that is a response to their actions, which is interesting that that's a man thing. I would think that, it seems to me that in my experience with the ladies, which is extensive, that the women that I've known really want me to react to them. I remember I used to keep track of this one girlfriend I had. I used to keep track of how long it would take her to ask me for something when I'd see her for the first time. And sometimes it would be the very first thing out of her mouth. It'd be, "Hello, do you want to go? Do you want to take me out to eat?" or something like that. Sometimes it'd be the very first thing. She's like seizing the initiative of directing our activities, so that men would want a virtual girlfriend. Like, it's interesting. Type management. But anyway, I might have nothing more to say about that. But let's start with the order that you brought up the topics. And one was high brain activity and craziness. Well, some people I think are. Well, first off, let's start with the book Outliers, where they talked about people who have. I'm going to light this pipe up again. They talk about people who have exceptional experience with something. They mentioned Bill Gates. Bill Gates, due to circumstances, was able to put 10,000 hours. You got a little bit of water on you, buddy. He was able to put 10,000 hours into computers long before anyone really had that kind of access to computers. So I believe that some people put 10,000 hours worth of thought into things. I can't remember who it was. They recognized as a genius, but someone said, you know, what's it like being smarter than everybody? And he's like, I'm not smarter than everybody. I'm as smart as anybody. I just think more about this one topic than anybody else. I think that sums it up. I think a lot of geniuses put their 10,000 hours of thought into one thing. You know, math, or theory, or astronomy, or cars. You know, anything. Though I do know what you're talking about. There are people that have extraordinary, almost mythical intellectual ability, but I think that you're right, and that shows up as an instability. I think it's very similar to putting 10,000 hours of thought into something. I think it's actually more along the lines of being forced to put 10,000 hours of thought into something because you can't think about anything else. You can't think any way else. Like people who memorize copious amounts of information can't stop. You know, like I could spend 10 years trying to memorize things, and I'd get better and better and better at it until suddenly you thought I was a genius because I could quote you, you know, pages out of virtually, you know, anything, you know, or statistics just come rolling off my tongue. So, but I think mental instability is just across the board. I think you'd be hard pressed to say that more people of high IQ go crazy than people of low IQ. I think it's mental instability is a constant. If I was really smart, I'd quote you a bunch of statistics to back that up. And your phone thing, I did a I love your cell phone video a while back, and it's the case. I find people are way more. I find people could cope with situations way better because they seem like they can't get off their phone. And I'm so happy. You know what? It makes them act like introverts, which makes me more comfortable around a lot of people because they're not just looking to me to entertain them, which I hate. They start using me like a magazine, just peppering me with questions, things like that. And you know, I don't mind a certain amount of questions, but I don't like being treated like a magazine. Pipe went out again. I'm gonna have to stop smoking this and just talk. So I think I actually like it. I know it's a drawback for a lot of people. I know it's kind of shocking. It seems like rude to a lot of people that you're sitting there talking or watching a game or something like that and they can't put their phones away. I'm fine with that. I don't care what they do. In some ways, it's an outer thing, an outer example of what I do in an inner way. Sometimes I'm watching the game, but hey, back this way, Keela. I'm watching the game, but in my mind, I'm thinking about other things. I focus my gaze somewhere, especially if it makes people think that I'm concentrating, so that I could be left to think. Well, yeah. But the virtual girlfriend thing, man, I think that's so interesting. I mentioned it to somebody because there's a movie out about a guy that falls in love with his phone operating system. I mentioned that there is a lot of variety of ways to love. Because what do we want out of a relationship? And this woman freaked out at me and said, yeah, well, some people are sociopaths. And I'm like, yes, I agree. I just proposed that because it's the movie. That bit of water on the screen is so distracting. Well, not screen, it's a lens. I can't actually see myself. But I think that some people, I would say that it is not unhealthy to want just specific things out of a relationship. I'd say that especially if it matches the other person. Like some people lead very lightly connected lives and relationships go. Like, he has his career, she has her career. They love to meet up and exchange information, and they're very excited to see each other because they don't see each other very often. And so they see each other, like you might see like your girlfriend or boyfriend like 10 times a week or more, and they might see them 5 times a week. So to them, 10 years for you is like 5 years for them. And so like it keeps things fresh, and that might not work for everybody. So like it'd have to work with the same desires and expectations as the other person. So if it's an electronic entity, so it's not, at this point in time, it's not a thinking, aware thing, then what this person really wants out of a relationship, I believe, is a response to them. Like I want somebody to respond to me. And also that's I know I got a smelly beard. It's also a relationship that, since it's electronic, there's the kind of like, it's different kinds of efforts and demands aren't put upon people. And you think a relationship, like I think that, a sexual component to a relationship, there's some people that are just asexual. They have no interest for whatever reason, medical, psychological, or just nature. They're chemically not, they have no chemical libido, let's say. Then maybe they do just want somebody to interact with without any other demands. Can you lift this? Will you buy this for me? I have no preconceived notion of what a boyfriend or girlfriend should be, or a husband or a wife, or what our future should be like together. Always the expectations are right in the moment. How can I respond? In what ways do I want to be responded to? And I get that that's weird, and it wouldn't be for me at all. But I totally see why it's possible and can be healthy. I could see it be. I mean, that's the thing. I could see it being unhealthy, and I could see that just being a perfect match for somebody, and that being a really healthy thing. I'm gonna light this pipe back up. Stop talking. So I'll see you in the tubes. Bagpiper, Florida, 32 ounce.